Hotep, Black Power, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. As always, giving honor to my sister, my father, my in-laws, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, the Street Law Soldiers, all my comrades that are in the ancestral realm, as well as you all and your families that are in the ancestral realm, and for those brothers and sisters out there, as well as my subscribers who are fighting in the liberation and salvation of the black nation. What I want to talk about today is these recent murders in Chicago with actually it was a 4-year-old boy. His mother, 27-year-old Nikia was ambushed with gunfire along with her 4-year-old son and a 19-year-old young man that was along with them. Sister Betts, the young queen, died later on that day at the hospital. The 4-year-old boy and the 19-year-old boy managed to survive. And at the same day, a 89-year-old man was shot. His injuries weren't life-threatening. However, he was still shot, as well as 16 other people in Chicago this week. And once again, you know, we're saying that, you know, and I know a lot of you are saying it doesn't make any sense. We're killing each other. We are our worst enemies and things of that nature. However, we have to look at the fact that, first of all, we're not putting the weapons are not being brought into this country, into the hoods of the inner cities and the black communities by anyone black. Let's get that clear. You know, because we have a tendency just to, you know, and all this type of media propaganda just creates the tempo and the temperature of self-hate that already exists in the hearts and the minds of our people today. And so, what we need to do is understand where these weapons are coming from. Who brings the weapons in? Who brings the guns in? Who is in charge of the distribution of the narcotics and the weapons in the black community? Now, let's take a look at this. If you put a people in some of the most inhumane living conditions on the planet, in some of the most closed, congested quarters that a human being could possibly live in, take away all employment in all the heads of households in those neighborhoods, distribute jobs only to the women, and provide relief and housing only to single parent females, and then you put drugs and weapons into the communities, combined with that frustration of self-hate, you're going to have black on black violence. The same thing would happen if the situation was reversed. If white communities were like the black communities and disenfranchised and living in those inhumane conditions, and the only thing that they were surrounded with were guns, drugs, pawn shops, takeout Chinese carryouts, and horrendous meats from these fast food restaurants and carryouts, you would have the same exact results. The body count would be the same, if not higher. So let's stop buying into, we have to do something, to control and combat black on black violence. Black on black violence is a result of self-hatred and black disenfranchisement. Okay, let's remove the guns, let's remove the drugs out of the community, let's provide jobs, let's release some of these brothers, these millions of brothers and sisters that are incarcerated, send them back home, put them as head of households, provide them with employment and jobs that they will be able to provide for their entire families. And you will see the entire 360-degree change in the black community. But this shit is set up by design. So we need to stop being fooled by this shit. And the more violence, why is it that Chicago has the highest black on black violence in the country? Because they're picking one city at a time. And then you have the most dirtiest, corruptest motherfucking so-called imposter, Israeli Mossad, this motherfucking Rahm Emanuel, who is behind the distribution of the guns and the drugs in Chicago. Why else would a motherfucker leave the White House as chief of staff, second highest position in the country, to go to Chicago, and then all of a sudden the body count becomes 10 times as high once he enters Chicago? Because of the drug trade and the weapons and the violence. It creates money. The more black men that are murdered and slaughtered in the streets each day provides revenue, provides federal revenue for that city. And this motherfucking faggot, he's not stupid. And as you know, Barack Obama was behind that too. So, and they're using one city at a time. And so we have to stop buying into this shit. Where are the politicians at? Where are the so-called black politicians at? Where the so-called black leadership is at to go and rally and force these motherfucking devils to provide jobs instead of money into the police protection and all that? That's just a front. It's a smoke screen for a fucking precursor to a motherfucking King Alfred drill. And we don't see this shit coming. Why do you think this faggot Trump Friday made this statement that people that are arrested, which he was talking about black males, the police have permission to rough them up more? And this stupid motherfucking cracker, because I'm not surprised at anything a white supremacist says. Because he's supposed to talk white supremacy talk. Y'all kill me with that. Did you hear what Trump said? Who gives a fuck? He's a white supremacist. He's only saying what a white supremacist is supposed to say. And all he's doing is giving the police permission to kill and assault and kill and murder black males. And this is for you niggas that voted for Trump. The goddamn black church. You niggas sat and stood behind him while he signed all these bills, and you fucking chitlin eating, greasy, chitlin juice dripping off the mouth motherfucking preachers who stood behind him, all goddamn teeth and eyes. Now, but what you gonna say when you get the call that the police have killed your grandson? What are you gonna say then? And this is for you skinning and grinning motherfucker, fried chicken eating motherfucking, church going motherfuckers. The black church that stood behind and endorsed this goddamn devil. Steve Harvey and the rest of you motherfucking baboon ass motherfucking shucking jiving ass buck dancing ass niggas. This is what you motherfuckers get. You know, this motherfucker gave the police department permission to injure suspects. Now what about the people that are innocent, that are being picked up for nothing, that are going to be thrown into these police cars head first? Who's going to foot the bill for all these lawsuits that are coming up? See, your white slave master, he wasn't thinking about that Friday when he made that speech, because he's not going to foot the bill. You know, and what needs to happen, you know, but before I go there, let me just say, you know, for you motherfucking church, you preachers that endorse Trump, you hallelujah motherfuckers, you know, tell that to that 89-year-old man that was just shot by a gun that was in a black hand, given to the black hand by a white hand. You know, nobody wants to deal and put the blame where it's supposed to be at. The crackers that hand out the guns, the crackers that hand out the drugs. And if you give a disenfranchised, self-hating people that type of motherfucking weaponry and those narcotics, you're gonna have that type of, those are gonna be the results that you're gonna have. You're gonna have fatalities based on the fact that a lot of our people have given up hope. They feel hopeless, they feel helpless when men don't have the ability to take care of their families. When the schools are miseducating our babies, they're militarizing our babies, they're sexualizing our babies. And we sit back thinking that one day white supremacy is just going to pop up and just be over with. That this cracker is going to have a change of heart, and this shit will end, and it will never happen until you get up off your asses and fight this motherfucking devil with everything you got. Collectively, as a black race, we will never move forward under any conditions. Nobody's coming to save us. There's nobody coming out the sky to save this shit. The only thing that will straighten this shit out is going to be bloodshed. War will be the only way black people will have their freedom and liberation. Because I'm going to fight. We teach our children, we teach our babies not to fight back, to respect the motherfucking cracker, to go along, to get along. You know, if a lot of you think, oh, if you don't say nothing and talk back to the police and all this shit, then you know nothing will happen. You know, tell that to Oscar Grant's family. Tell that to the thousands and thousands of our babies that have been murdered for nothing, for full compliance with this goddamn pig. And now this motherfucking faggot, Trump, has raised the ante on, you know, the handling of our children and of our brothers and sisters. Because no one knows what the black man goes through. And it has to be, you know, we have to have our cameras on. We have to be prepared to deal with this motherfucker. We have to be prepared to die. When it's time for war, you have to understand that you may not be coming back. You may not be coming back home. And that's the spoils of war. Because the cracker is training for war each and every day. All we're doing is sitting back, hoping and praying that this motherfucker won't annihilate all of us, and he's doing it piece by piece, person by person, each and every day. And we're the only ones that teach our babies, that teach one another, that we preach to one another every Sunday and every Friday in these mosques and temples and churches, not to fight back, to turn the motherfucking other cheek. And everybody that has fought back tooth and nail has won their independence and freedom. Even if you look at Haiti. Haiti beat 3 different countries, 3 different armies for their independence. And they won their independence. And all they have to do here is give out some paper and you won't fight. Give out some mollies, give out some weed, some dope, and you will not fight. You will not fight. You will surrender. Because you have gotten black men, you have gotten that goddamn weak. And not all of you. Some of you are ready for war. Some of you can't wait to sacrifice your life to go down in the books as a motherfucking true warrior. Because 5 or 6 generations from now, when people open up the books and see some of the names of some of the people that stood up and fought, you know, Dad, let me see, that's your great-great-great-great-grandfather, Shaka Sankofa, him and his wife Nzinga. You know, and he talks about, in his book, he talks about, you know, all the people that didn't fight. This is a picture of his uniforms. The uniforms they wore to fight this motherfucking cracker back. This is how we got free. Why didn't the rest of them fight? Because they were scared. Point blank. So you got to understand, you know, what's at stake here is the lives of future generations. And if you don't participate and contribute to sacrifice your life in the liberation of black people, we will not be free. The white man is working night and day to annihilate people of color all over the planet. And we have the power to dismantle his ass. We just have to stand straight up and go get what's ours. Fight for your babies. Fight for the next generations ahead of you. Stand up and be a man. Stand up and be a woman. Look what happened to, look at like the fatherless children. They wearing dresses and skirts now. R. Kelly and P. Diddy, you know. Motherfuckers that didn't have fathers. And you see how they turned out. They wearing skirts and dresses, kissing men and all this shit. And they are paid to infect our babies. And those motherfuckers need to be eliminated as well. A lot of our entertainers, a lot of our athletes, a lot of our politicians, a lot of our dignitaries have become a cancer to the liberation and salvation of black people. And they need to be exterminated. There's no other way to put that. Because some of them are too far for change. Redemption is just too far away from them. It's just out of their reach. You know, and we have to be clear about this. We have to be crystal clear and stop the bullshitting. And stop being so soft-hearted. We're taking nobody out, and we ain't supposed to do this and do that. But they take your people out every day. Cancer, AIDS, gun violence, all types of diseases, incarceration. All those things are man-made, designed to exterminate people of color. So when we say someone, passed from cancer or OD'd off of drugs, they literally were murdered by white supremacy. The drugs were brought in here by a motherfucking cracker, given to certain people, placed in the community. And you're not going to tell me, if you're any type of man or woman, that you're going to let your children starve if you don't have any money, and the only thing you have to resort to is to sell some motherfucking drugs and go to the underworld. Anybody in their right mind is going to pick those drugs up and make some money to feed their families. And I'm not saying that as an excuse for everybody that sells drugs. No, that's insane to even think like that. But at the same time, what do you do? Because time doesn't wait for anybody. Time doesn't wait for anybody. And if you're unable to find employment, you're gonna do what you do best. You're gonna do what you know. You're gonna resort to your survival skills. But what I'm telling you, you need to apply those same skills into our liberation. So you won't have to do that, because we will be free. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? And we can't say, and we have people, that can participate in our liberation. We need reparations. First of all, I'm going to do a lecture on that. I'm going to do a video on that soon. But we have the money. We have the money to provide jobs, to provide training. The black community has it. On clothing, we spend $29 billion a year. Cars and trucks, $29 billion. Electronics, $6.1 billion. Housing, $203 billion. Food, $65 billion. Education, $7.5 billion. What that tells you? Alcohol, $3.0 billion. Sodas, $2.8 billion. Books, $321 million. Because we don't read. Computers, $3.6 billion. Entertainment, $3.1 billion. Healthcare, $23 billion. Furniture, $16 billion. Insurance, $21 billion. Media, $8 billion. Personal and professional services, strip clubs, $4.1 billion. Personal care products, $7 billion. 1.1 trillion. Because we're so greedy and we're so selfish, we don't want to share. We have the spending and buying power to raise the entire black race up and put the entire black race on its feet. But we won't do that. Because you've been trained that massa will take your money if you share, or if you help some of your brothers and sisters get out of the wretched conditions that they're in. How can you be so fucked up to the point where you will watch people that look like you die, starve, and suffer when you have the ability to prevent that. And these are the same people that buy your records, that buy tickets to your games, that watch you on TV, that cheer for you, buy your jerseys, buy your tennis shoes. And then when you're in your limo, you run over their feet. They mean nothing to you. They're beneath you. And for you niggas, trust me, you got something coming from their ancestors. This I know. This ain't no hocus pocus. You know, I want to take time out to, you know, acknowledge some of my brothers and sisters out here. As always, my mother, my queen and singer Sankofa. You know, my daughter, my grandchildren, Professor Bobby Beverly, Brother Ali, Brother Mark, Brother Khalil, Brother Burgess. These are the street law soldiers. You know, all my biological family, siblings, in-laws, you know, neighbors, all my YouTube subscribers. I will be doing a roll call shortly, in a couple of days probably. So, because I've acquired a lot of new subscribers. I haven't forgotten about you, and I do appreciate you all, and I will acknowledge you all in a couple of days. You know, but this is just some things to think about. You know, because one day war is coming to this country at an escalating scale, and the color of your skin will be your uniform. And I'm just paraphrasing the great ancestor, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And also honor to all of our warriors and freedom fighters that came before me, that I'm trying my best and doing my best, you know, to continue and carry your legacy and carry the torch for liberation, because I appreciate all of you. Shout out to Jerome Tillman up in Baltimore. And I'm gonna come back with something else. I'm gonna try to have a live interview with Professor Bobby Beverly, who has an upcoming lecture in Jacksonville, Florida. He's a wonderful elder, a very, 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 very intelligent scholar, as well as a strong humanitarian. And hopefully I'll be able to do this interview over the phone with, so you can get a feel for the brother, for the elder. And in closing, Hotep, Black Power.